Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing this evening, this afternoon, night,
Great,
whatever it
doing
is?
great.
How you doing,
Evening.
brother? Hello, 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 everybody. Well, welcome to our Monday night entrepreneur meeting EM. My name is Nooney Rubio. We are going to get started. We got a lot to cover here. I know that we got some people coming on, different meetings. Let me see here on the chat. If you could please let me know where you guys are joining in from. Hello, Miss Princess. How you doing? Carrie. Hello, Miss Erica. We got coast to coast here tonight. All right. So yeah, go ahead and put in the chat where you guys are joining in from. I'd really appreciate it. We got Garland. Pauline's there. Okay. Woodlands and here in Texas. Cat Springs. I know Pauline's over there in Malibu, over there in Los Angeles. We got East Tennessee here. All right, guys. Let's see. We got California, Bethel Island. Okay. Abilene, Houston. All right, cool. Got Fireflies note takers here. All right, great. Well, welcome, everybody. We're going to get started. I know we need to cover a lot of stuff, but like I mentioned, my name is Nooney Rubio. For those of you who don't know me, a few etiquette for all those. If you guys can turn on your cameras, please do. If you can't or you're driving, please be safe first. But tonight we are going to be talking about all sorts of things, okay? But before we get started, I want to give the floor to my brother, Mr. Suni Samad, because we are going to be branching off into a room, breakout room, and for it's going to be for those of you who have been invited here by someone to basically go over what our infinite company is, what we do, why we're here, why you were invited, and you're going to have an amazing leader go over that presentation with you. So, Mr. Suni, if you could please you got the floor, brother.
Hey, yes, sir. Can everybody hear me? Everybody up?
We
Everybody,
can.
everybody got the 4th of July blues. Y'all good to go? Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, listen, we're back in the game, you guys. It's Monday night. This is the entrepreneur meeting, right? We're back at it like we never left, right? So, my name is Suni Samad. I'm one of the business directors here on the platform of our infinite company. It is so good to see this community of people, right? We went and saw other communities that have absolutely lost their minds, communities that have absolutely no rhyme or reason, but we're here for a reason and a purpose. If somebody brought you or invited you to this meeting tonight, okay, follow me into the break room. I am going to be giving you an overview of this phenomenal presentation. Join me in the breakout room. All right. So you're going to toggle down to the bottom of the screen here. You're going to see something that says more, maybe, or you'll see something that says breakout, and then click join breakout. Meet me over there, and I am going to do the best overview possible of this wonderful opportunity that's changed so many lives, and hopefully that we can share it with you so that we can give you the opportunity to change your life as well. So with that said, Nooney, I'm gonna turn it back over to you, brother, and I'll see the rest of you guys in the breakout.
Appreciate it. All right. Thank you. All right, guys. So yeah, again, for all of those of you who have been invited, Suni has given you directions to meet him in the breakout room for the presentation. So come down, like he mentioned, to where it says breakout rooms. You're going to scroll all the way down, and you're going to see a OIC overview presentation with Suni Samad. Just go ahead and join there, and we'll see you back here after his presentation. Okay. All right, guys. Well, let's get this started. We have had some amazing, man. We had some meetings this morning. I saw some huge numbers get put up. I don't see Cecile I see her on here again. And man, let me tell you, we had a good time this morning talking a little bit. But let's go ahead and get prepared for recognition. Because I would like for us to get started and show what's been happening here in the last few days. So if you guys want to unmute, please unmute so we can celebrate these individuals that have put their head down and gone to work. So unmute or get ready to throw some reactions, hearts and diamonds and claps and all kinds of stuff here. But we're going to get started with the celebration of excellence, recognizing success from the 29th up to the 5th. So let's get started, guys. All right, let's get that music going. So let's move on with the slides, please. Yes, personal category, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so here we go. Top personal recruiters from the 29th to the 5th is as follows. One personal recruit. Congratulations, Mr. George.
George. Congratulations, Mr. Ridley.
George Ridley.
Scott, Gabriela Encinas, Tammy Arbo, and Veronica Herrera. Congratulations. Okay, let's keep on moving.
Congratulations, Veronica.
All right, let's keep on moving here. They got one personal recruit and last top personal app count for the 29th and the 5th. All right, let's keep this going, everybody. One personal app count. Brother Anthony and Lorraine Rubio.
Congratulations,
Anthony Prasad.
Congratulations, Betty.
Congratulations, Anthony Prasad. Congratulations, Betty.
Carlos,
Congratulations,
Gabrielle.
Congratulations, Catherine.
Bester.
Congratulations,
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 Congratulations, everyone.
29 to the
Georgina.
5th. Let's keep on going here. One personal app, we got Mr. Jack Mungy.
We got
Jack,
Mr.
Jason,
Congratulations,
Donovan,
Congratulations,
Torres,
Jason.
Kimberly L.
Congratulations,
Williams.
Congratulations,
Williams.
Kimberly.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations,
Marilyn Granado, and Martin Peller.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations.
Let's keep this moving. Mary Grace Anasco with one person.
Mary
Grace.
Scott,
Yes.
Norma Navarro,
Good work.
Rodney Johnson,
Good work.
Sean Hoyer,
Miss Navarre.
Tammy Arbro,
Mr. Hoyer,
Vanessa
good
Garcia,
job.
Veronica
Johnson,
Herrera,
Mr.
and
Hoyer, way to go.
Zenaya
Good job, Miss
Tubla.
Congratulations, everybody.
Let's keep moving on.
Veronica.
Congratulations.
All right, let's keep
Tubla,
on moving
way to
here.
go.
Two
Way to
personal
go.
app counts, ladies and gentlemen. We got Adriana Santillana.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Miss
Claudia
Santillana.
Benitez,
Christy.
Deandra Brown,
Ethan.
John Robinson,
Brown.
Congratulations,
Robinson.
Good job.
Good
job.
Congratulations,
Son
John
Wonga.
Robinson.
Miss Juarez, way to go.
Julie.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Maria, good job.
Maria.
Two
Congratulations,
personal
everyone.
app counts from last 29th to the 5th. Three personal app counts. Cedric Pearson,
Go, Mr.
Crystal
Pearson.
Acevedo,
Congratulations,
Good job,
Kimberly
Cedric.
Howard.
Congratulations,
Congratulations,
Good job.
Way to go.
Congratulations, Kimberly Howard. Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone.
Four personal app
Mr.
counts.
Hans,
Mr.
Congratulations,
Dustin.
Hans.
Congratulations,
Jersey.
Dustin.
Yeah.
Congratulations, brother. All right.
Congratulations, Dons.
You know who's putting their heads down and going to work.
Yeah, straight to work.
Let's see. Five
All right,
personal
Squires.
app
All right,
counts.
let's go,
Ari.
Ari.
Squires.
There you go.
Right.
Congratulations.
Good
Okay.
job.
Congratulations on that. Top personal gross production from the 29th to the 5th. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get started with these numbers here. I'm excited to see what's happening here. Okay, all right. Personal gross production, Julian Waga with 559.
Right.
Jack
Congratulations, Julie.
480.
Jack, good work. Good
Marilyn
work, Marilyn.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone.
Hines, Zenaida Kutublas,
Congratulations.
Sherilyn Renfro, Hans Augustin, Carlos
Congratulations.
All right,
Millsap,
Hans,
Georgina
Sherilyn, good
Thornhill,
work.
Michelle Dowles. You see those numbers coming up,
Congratulations.
right?
All right, Carlos.
All right, let's keep on going with this. So we're starting at $45 and we're coming up all the way to $1,200 on this page
All right,
here
way
with
to
Anthony
go.
Prasad,
Congratulations.
Keila
let's
Torres,
do
Cedric,
this.
Vanessa, and Jessica.
Way to build it.
Congratulations.
Way to
Good
go.
work.
Mia,
Good job.
Catherine,
Good job.
Catherine Dean, Anthony,
Congratulations.
Luisa Bell, and Betty
Congratulations.
Freeman.
All right. Good work,
All
everyone.
right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congrats, everyone.
Yeah.
45. Okay, here we go.
Dang,
We
all
got
right.
Christina
Yeah.
Right.
Sevela with
Way to go.
$7,200.
Congratulations, Crystal.
We got
Way to
Adi,
go.
Kimberly.
Ari.
We have Ed, Denise, 3,000, just a little over
Hey,
3,000. Got
congratulations.
Adriana Santana at
Congratulations.
2,500. Jason Blair at 25 as well. We got Veronica, Deandra, and Gabriel Gonzalez at 1440.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Way to
Let's
go.
go. Let's go. Come on,
Congratulations,
everybody.
everyone.
Let's
Let's
keep
do
on
this.
that energy up. All right. Let's keep that energy
Yeah,
up.
let's go.
Okay. Look at this here.
Wow.
Look at Mark.
Santella is
Way to
field
go.
director
Let's go.
at $75,180.
Congratulations, Mark.
Are you kidding me, guys? All right.
Let's go, Mark.
75,180. Way to go, Mark. All right. 75,180. Look at
Miss
this.
Christy, way to go.
Cecile
All right. Cecile,
at
congratulations.
75,518. Congratulations on that.
Congratulations. Wow.
This is amazing.
Good job.
Congratulations. Field directors, both of them, all right?
Oh,
And we
my
got
goodness.
a quarter
All right,
of $1
Mary
million.
Grace.
Mary Grace just
Go,
throwing
Wow.
Dee,
down.
from the
Good
front. Go,
job.
Mary.
$250,000, ladies and gentlemen, okay?
Congratulations.
Jesus, man, this is nuts.
That's
All right.
crazy.
Executive Business
Yeah.
Director, congratulations on that, guys, all right?
Let's go.
Thank you for your
All right,
dedication and
congratulations, everyone.
congratulations to
Congratulations,
everybody,
everybody.
okay? All right, guys. Thank you very much for participating in our recognition. All right, guys. Thank you very much, staff, for sharing that. Now, let me tell you, I'm going to sit and talk about this for a little bit because we had a good time talking about it this morning, right? I know for a fact that 75,000. I mean, again, we went from $45, ladies and gentlemen, to $250,000. Let me ask you guys, because I know, because I asked this morning already. But do you think these numbers came by talking to somebody one day or a week, a month, 6 months? Anybody? I'll mute, or you can guys unmute and let's
Absolutely
talk about
not.
it. Who
No,
said that? Absolutely. Bryce? Absolutely not, right?
no.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ms. Josephine, do you think it might have taken a little time to gain some, not only some knowledge, but
Absolutely.
right? Right. It took some time.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. You know,
Mhm.
but is it fair enough to say that these individuals probably were consistent in a follow-up?
Yes.
Is it fair enough to say that they were committed to what
Oh,
they've been
yeah.
doing up to this point?
Yep.
Right,
Yes.
Bryce? Yep. Josephine? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about that because you see these numbers and you're like, oh man, can you imagine receiving what, and 75K, let's come down to 75. Let's come down to the 7,200 that I was looking at. That's a pretty decent monthly income for people who are working, right? Especially in certain states and certain demographics and certain regions of the United States, right? Now we're getting into the 75,000s and $250,000. I mean, people working a full-time job don't get that
Nope.
high of a. Am I right, Josephine? Right?
You are absolutely right. I'm like, I worked a whole year. I never got that.
And it's funny how people are like sometimes get discouraged because you're in this business, you're in this industry, and sometimes you go through weeks, maybe some months, and people get discouraged, right? They're like, well, man, I ain't making it here, you know? And so my question to everybody would be, well, what's your commitment? What's your consistency? And most of all, what is your mission? Okay. What is your mission? Um, I heard something a few years ago. I can tell you exactly when, in 2022, when I met Mr. Carlos Millsap, when we first started talking, and we opened up the West Coast when we met. And he always talked about this thing called commission breath, right? Commission before your mission. And when we started OIC, we had that very defined. We had the MVP, the mission, the vision, we had our purpose. And, it takes some time to develop because in this industry, you got a couple of, you have two different types of companies. You got the ones who want to be number one from the get-go. They want to be first. They want to be top. They want to be this. They want to be that. They want a quick sale, under 20, 30 minutes. They want to just lead with a product. They want to just see how many clients and how many leads they can get in 1 hour and how many they can sell within that hour. Okay. Let me ask you guys a question. If you still have your parents or grandparents or maybe brothers and sisters or whatever, how comfortable would you feel if you called them a lead?
Nah, not comfortable at all.
You know what I'm talking about? You're talking to your aunt or your uncle or somebody, and somebody's just calling you a lead. How would you feel if that's all you were?
Nah, nah, not that good. Nah.
Not cool, Bryce, right?
Yeah, nah, not cool.
We don't sell leads here in our infinite company. Okay. We create relationships. And the way we do that is by recruiting, by going out and doing sweet treats. We do events. When we are at a barbecue or where you're, just anywhere meeting people, eventually that conversation goes to, hey, what do you do? Am I right or wrong? And that intro took me forever to nail down because I was like, oh man, well, yeah, I sell insurance. But as soon as I told them I sold insurance, they'd turn around and run. Nobody wants to talk about life insurance, right? If I talked about something else, and so we had to hone in our craft. And it started when I finally realized what our true mission was, and the true mission and vision and purpose was literally to break the barriers, okay, of financial literacy or illiteracy, okay? I don't know if you guys have walked into these small banks or maybe one of these corporations where you walk in and there are these portraits. Sometimes it's women, most it's men, right? But there's a company or a bank or somebody that a son has taken over that company, and you have the portraits of the family, right? And there's this pride. If it's the son or a nephew or a cousin, whoever's running that company, and he starts talking about the people on those portraits. Yes, this was my father who I took this company over. And it was started by his father. And he goes, that person goes back and just starts talking with this huge pride of who's on the wall and where where the company came from, and it's generational wealth, right? Okay. Well, us normal individuals who didn't come from that kind of generational wealth also have a pride, okay? But our background kind of sounds like this. Yeah, my father was a blue collar worker, right? Or my parents were middle class or middle low class or poor, okay? Their grandfathers were working out on the fields, okay? My great grandfather possibly crossed the border or came over on a boat or, so do you understand that we also have that same pride, but it's just a little different, right? Okay. So our mission here is, again, it's no different. That gentleman with those portraits has the same pride as the pride that we have, but the difference is the wealth. Am I right or wrong? Okay. Is the wealth. So I wanted to talk to you guys about today is what is your mission? Okay. I'm wanting to break that chain, that barrier, the walls, whatever you want to call it, in discussing financial literacy. Okay. Because for those of us, or we have some teachers, and we've had some people that have been in the education and they got their bachelors. I know Sylvia has got her bachelor's degree. We got other people that have gotten their masters and PhDs, and they're with OIC, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, because they've understood one thing is that you can do 4 years and get a degree, do 8 years or 12 years or how many, but is it fair enough to say, or I would argue that even all that time, effort, and money, and they go and start their careers or their businesses, whatever it is, do you think that they got a finance 101? No, they didn't, you know? And so you come across a company like our firm here in our Infinite Company, and we start breaking down those barriers, having those conversations, because at least with our family, our children are not coming up to us and telling, hey, dad, hey, mom, how do these interest works with these credit cards? How does interest works with any loan? Okay. Hey, where can I put my money? Because I'm seeing all this stuff on TikTok. I'm seeing all this stuff on Instagram and Facebook. And I don't want to spend $200 in buying this guy's book or spending $1,000 in flying to Florida to this event. Hey, do you know anything about this? Oh, absolutely, son. Let's sit down. Let's have a conversation. Hey, how do you buy your first home? How do you buy a car? Is it good to lease or buy? Can you imagine if we had those conversations when we were growing up, where we'd be today? Okay. And so instead of us, again, I know all of us have that pride, and we are sometimes refrained from going up to somebody and saying, hey, how'd you buy that house, man? I mean, you got a beautiful house. I mean, that car, us guys, man, us our car guys, man, how did you get that Mercedes or that that Ferrari or that Lamborghini? We sometimes, because we don't want to step out of our comfort zone, we don't go up and ask. Well, then this is why I have OIC, because we are going to talk about those conversations. We are going to bring those up. Not only are we going to do this with our clients, but we're going to talk about it amongst ourselves. Okay. That's our mission, vision, and purpose, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I just wanted to take a little bit of time and share that with you, because this is the place where you can ask and open up. And where do you start? And how do you do it? Or, hey, you know what? I was doing great, but now I'm not. Or, you know what? I started, but I haven't gotten it. Well, let's talk about this, And one big thing and one big place that I'm going to tell you where my mind was blown. And I remember many, many years ago when Brad and Anthony would come down to San Antonio, my wife and I were not in that place to want to take that next step, because I'm an older brother and I thought I knew everything, or I had too much pride to ask. Does that sound familiar with somebody? Okay. All right. I know I see some smiles over with Tammy and like, yeah. Come on, guys, let's talk real. But we put our money where our mouth was, and we went to a convention. And let me tell you guys, that money could have been used to pay the light bill at that time. It could have been used to pay the phone bill. It could have been used to pay the mortgage. But it was time at that time for me and for us to make a change. Okay. I wanted something bigger. I wanted something better. I wanted something it was just something that, again, when you have two people coming in, and how can you not say no to family, right? You know? And so we took the leap, we took the chance, and it changed our lives forever. Okay. And so the reason I'm bringing up this commitment and consistency, and I'm talking about the numbers that you just witnessed now, is that no, it did not take a week. It did not take a month. In some cases, it's taken years. Okay. But I would tell you one thing, is that I wouldn't change this for the world, because now are we not only changing our lives, we're able to change others people's lives. And when you see the watches and the rings and the gold jackets and you see everything, I will never apologize for all those accolades, because that's just showing how many more people we've helped. Does that make sense? I'm not going around and hiding my accomplishments. I want to show them, because that proves and shows how many people we have helped. And that's more important than anything, because again, it's easy to go and buy food or give to the needy or do all of that, right? You want to do everything you can when you can do it, right? You want to, buy fish, right? What's that saying, right? That it's great to feed people fish, but it's even better to show somebody how to fish, because now it's abundance. Now you're able to share the wealth, share your knowledge. And again, when these holidays comes around, guys, who ever thought, okay? Because I never thought of before of ever writing some kind of Christmas card or anything to a life agent ever in my life. But we receive them. We receive notes. We receive text messages. We receive emails. We receive referrals for this, because they thank us of what we've done for them and their family. Make sense? Okay. A huge difference than trying to sell somebody under 20 or 30 minutes some type of something just to make a quota, right? Just to reach a certain promotion or something level. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was basically what I wanted to kind of share a little bit. And it started with what's about to happen here next month, here in August. It is our 8th year. It is going to be a huge, huge, huge event, because again, 8 is very significant in our company because of the infinite sign. And I'm going to have my brother, okay, back in 2007, this journey started, ladies and gentlemen, all right? And I'll never forget them driving down all the way down to San Antonio and trying to convince me to get to what we are wanting you guys to be next month. And again, changing my life forever. I'm always indebted and grateful for that, for what had happened back then. And so I'm going to have my brother, Anthony Rubio, come on to the floor. Floor is yours, brother. Can you hear me? Did you get
Awesome.
my
There we
audio?
go. Can you hear
There
me
you go.
okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Well, good evening, everybody. How's everybody this evening?
Good, we're good.
Still celebrating the 250 years still going on. Am I lagging a little bit?
Just a little, yes, sir.
A little bit? Yeah, okay. Man, I've been while you've been talking, I've been trying to fix this thing. I don't know. We had a little bit of a storm come through. So I'm going to, I guess, maybe talk a little slower or something. I don't know how to exactly fix this right now to get me back. You know what? Do me a favor, Nuni, if you could one more
Why don't
actually,
why don't you jump off and come back on real quick?
okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Okay. All right, guys. So as he does that real quick, let's see, give me a second here. All right. So as he goes out, comes back here a little bit. Like I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, actually I wanted to show you guys something. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Hold on. So I wanted to show, since I was talking about commitment, consistency, I wanted to show you guys something, and let me know if you guys can see my screen, because I was just going through something here and it kind of can you guys see my screen here? Thumbs up. Scary Carlos. Yeah, cool. All right.
Yes.
So this is my Facebook page, and I just noticed that 10 years ago I dropped my first reel. Okay. My wife and I are in Berlin on our way to Rome here. She still has her braces back then. Wow, 10 years ago, right? Okay. And as I'm sharing this 10 years ago, okay, you can see that I went crazy and putting all types of videos from everything that we have been doing and have done from then till now. And let me tell you, it goes on and on and on. Okay. When I talk about commitment and I talk about consistency, the reason I know it was 10 years ago is because we are leaving on Wednesday, 10 years later, back to Italy because my wife's was her birthday, and 10 years ago, that's where I took her. And so when I say that something doesn't happen overnight, something doesn't happen in a week, or sometimes it takes years. Okay, this was way before our infinite company. But you see that if you stay consistent and you stay committed, that things happen. And we've been blessed for me to repeat 10 years later on my wife's one of her. I'm not going to say how old she is because I don't want to throw in a brick at me, but just know that it is a monumental birthday decade for her. And it was something that, again, 10 years later, I wanted to do for her. Okay. And so when we're able, and that's just, again, going back to what I was saying, is that can you only imagine how many people we've been helping, educating, breaking down those barriers, and rewriting our history to continue doing what we want to do, right? But I want to make it very clear, right, when I'm bringing up my brother here, is that it absolutely did not take one day, 1 week, months, 6 months, a year. It's taken some time, all right? And so, again, commit yourselves, be consistent. We got plenty of training, uh, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. If it's one-on-one, if it's trainings like this, or if you miss these trainings on our Facebook, we got them. So we got plenty of support here, guys, ladies and gentlemen. But again, enough of that. Let's go ahead and bring my brother Anthony back onto the platform. Let's see if it's working out better, Ant.
How does it look now? A little bit better?
A little better. Yeah, I think
Good.
the
Okay.
storm still
Well,
might have messed up, but we can hear you fine. Keep on going.
yeah, we're gonna go ahead and continue it on. And before I'm looking at the screen, let me see who we got on this evening. Perfect. So before we get into tonight's train, I was listening, man, it's crazy how everything segues into each other. When we get together, we just look at it, ask a couple of questions. What is the team needing, right? Where's our position? What are the things that are important to us? Where do we need to go from there? I know tonight we're a little bit on the low count of people showing up, and I know that we got a lot of things in store. There's going to be some things we're going to unveil. Man, it's just going to be some great things that has been happening, and obviously things that are about to happen. And then congratulations to Mark and Cecile. Again, great jobs, but for doing those accounts. But I'm going to share with you is congratulations to all of y'all that are in the fight, that are in the trenches. The reality of it is that I was hearing Nuni talking about is that you know it's nice, right? Like it feels good to get those nice accounts, right? Like it's like that breath of fresh air. To me, it goes to show to everybody that, ladies and gentlemen, there's money out there. Does that make sense? There is money out there. Stop letting people tell you that sometimes you hear the economists that, oh man, we got some recessions coming through, or there's not a lot of money. The reality is there's money out there. There's a lot of people and you got to remember this part. There's people out there that are going and having to work their butts off to take care of their family, right? I mean, like making money out there, making money, not making money to many people is not an option. Does that make sense? Like the reality you gotta understand is if you lose your job right now and you got a family, do you think your option is to be like, well, there's no work out there, or are you gonna go out there and find work? Right? I mean, there's and so what happens is usually, and again, I always say that, I'm not saying that there's not hardships, and I'm not saying people don't go through things. But what I also look at is people put things in priorities, what they feel that is important, right? How many of y'all have been and actually I kind of know why there's probably many that are not on the call tonight. How many of y'all been watching the FIFA World Cup, right? USA is playing right now. That's why I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I know where everybody's at. They're watching USA play right now. They're playing, right? So we'll make this kind of quick, okay? But again, is have you noticed what the World Cup has done to North America, right? I mean, to Canada, to United States, to Mexico, like the hundreds of millions of dollars that this FIFA Cup has pumped in to US, right? Have y'all noticed that? I mean, have y'all, I don't know if y'all do TikToks or Facebook or Instagrams and you've seen all these people doing videos. I mean, like if you're in Texas right now, you see all these Holland or Netherlands people talking about Bucky's, and they're over there. The Japanese people over there were talking about Whataburger and having all these foodie things, right? I mean, right now there's hundreds of millions of dollars being pumped into the United States just because somebody is following something that they feel that's important. Matter of fact, I was looking at one other person, like they sold their house just to come over here and be able to over there, and I forgot what country it was, but to come over here and do a tour to see their team play, right? And everywhere the team played, they followed them, right? And they were, they made travel scenarios, travel destinations, and I'm not here to say yay or nays. I mean, man, that's their passion and it's their lives to do what they want to do, right? But the reason that I'm sharing this with you is that guys, there is money out there, but one of the biggest things that I see is that there's lack of education. There's lack of education when it comes on what to do with the money. And so you have to understand right now there's about 95% of the working class, right, of middle America that they spending 80 to 90% of their time going to work to make the money to take care of their family. Would you agree with me on that? Right? There's a lot of those type of people, okay, right? And which is the majority of it. Do you truly feel that they have enough time to worry or try to figure out where they're putting their money? That's why if you ever know, how many of y'all have ever seen some of our financial concepts like Rule of 72? How many of y'all seen that? How many of y'all seen about the concept like tax now, tax later, and tax advantages, right? How many of you have seen the concepts of average rate of return versus the real rate of return? How many have seen those concepts, right? Okay. So these concepts. See, and this is the thing that I look at where I don't understand why we don't go out there and share so much more of this information. If you look at the rule of 72, does anybody know how rule of 72 works? Anybody wanna hit it? Right? Anybody wanna share it?
Sure,
Besides Sunni.
sure,
I know
sure,
Sunni, you're gonna do a good
sure.
one, Sunni.
Yes.
Right? It's
The
pretty
rule of
simple.
72 is pretty simple. So it takes the interest rate divided into 72 determines how long it takes for your principal to double.
So you look in the scenario here. If you take 1% divided by 72, it equals what?
72.
Okay. So
Definition.
if you have your money in a 1% account, that means that every 72 years, the money that you have is going to double. Okay. So you look at that and you realize, man, that's pretty stupid. Okay. But do you know how many billions of dollars are in savings accounts that literally don't even have a 1%? Right? I have a bank that I bank with a few of them, and there's one bank that's worldwide that I bank, and I got a picture of it, and I was laughing because I was sitting there like, man, this is crazy. They say that, man, if you want to deal with high yield interest rates accounts, there's a CD that if you start out with 100, to start out, you have to have $100,000 to start out with, and you're gonna get a 1.28% interest rate. They actually had it on the monitor, and I'm thinking like, wow, like they were proud of that, right? So the question I have to you is, if right now we have this information, right, that we have these concepts that we teach people of understanding how rule of 72 works, or the taxation side of things, right? Understanding the difference between average rate of return and the real rates of return, right? I'm not going to go into that concept, but sometimes you look at it. I sat down with a client the other day, and again, it's all philosophy, right? However you feel. The company matches her 6% into her 401k, and she's been putting 17%. And I'm like, wow, that's, I mean, and so she's like, well, a lot of it's growing. I said, I understand. I said, but the reality is that they're only matching you up to 6%. The rest of it, wouldn't you want to put it into maybe some type of tax advantage type of plans so that you could be able to utilize most of your money when you're ready to get it pulled out? Because you know what? One of the things she never understood was about distribution. She was just assuming, and this is what she told me. Well, Anthony, once you get to 60 years old, you don't have to worry about paying taxes anymore. That's what they told me. I said, well, somebody told you wrong, lady. I said, whenever you get 59 and a half, you don't have to pay the 10% penalty anymore, but you're still going to get nailed on taxes. And she goes, oh, I didn't know that. And she is a nurse working for a company for over, my wife told me, she told me, I want to say like 17, 18 years or 2 decades, something like that. It was a lot of time. So she's had a lot of money built up into it, right? So I share this with you because the reality of today, what we're talking about is, ladies and gentlemen, there's money out there that people need to be that needs to be moved one way or another. And that's our jobs. We teach them and we put it into locations that is going to take care of them the best of their ability, not just what they read in books or see on TV. Okay? That's number one. Number two is, and I think which is the most important part, it is our financial opportunity because I want a little bit of participation on this. And I know there's a bunch of y'all that have y'all's cameras off, which is fine. But let me ask you a question. Anybody that is in this call that is not, and repeat, I want a thumbs up or a hand up or whatever. Anybody on this call that is not an associate of our Infinite company. Basically, you're a guest or you're a client only. So if you're just a guest or a client, if you're not a part of OIC, right? If you're just, this is your first, okay. So we have Kimberly Wheeler. Great. Well, I'm glad you're here. Hopefully some of this will be helpful and you might want to get on board with us, right? Maybe this is why you're here. And then I saw thumbs up. Let me put it was on the chat. It was Eric Caroline. Okay. Eric Caroline. Okay. So two people that are on this call that is not an associate and that is not that's basically either a client or a guest. There's two people on this call out of the number that we have today. And I'm assuming that probably Kimberly, were you in the presentation with Suni? Okay. With Eric, were you in the presentation with Suni? A thumbs up, or give me some kind of reaction. Okay. So most likely you were invited, and then afterwards you were said, "Hey, if you want to know a little bit more information, come on and stick around. You get to see a little bit more." So other than that, that would mean that everybody else on this call is an associate of our Infinite company. Do you know why why do you know why onboarding and recruiting people on this platform is so very important? You know the people that get the most out of our business and the most education out of what OIC provides are the people that are involved with it. The people that come on board. That's what I love about our business platform. Because the worst case scenario that can ever happen in this business is this. You might not make money, but you will know exactly what you need to do with the money that you're doing with whatever profession you're in right now. That's the worst case scenario. That means that you might not have made money here, but you were educated, you learned, you were taught. So whatever your profession is, or whatever your money, or whatever you've been doing, the worst case scenario is that everything you've worked for up till now and everything you're moving forward, you know exactly where and what to do with your money. That is the worst case scenario. I'm definitely going to make money good, right? So anything above that, that means that either you're going to make a little bit of money to take care of some debt, you're going to make some good money to maybe live a better lifestyle, you're going to live a great money to be able to change your generational wealth to your family. That's the moving on forward. And I shared that with you tonight because one of the biggest things that I want to talk to everybody tonight is about this is our Infinite company is built on principles, integrity, character. Money doesn't dictate our choices. And the reality is is that we're steadfast in the things that we're able to offer. I'm going to share with you another. Last time I was on board and I trained a little bit, I read a passage out of a book that I love, and it's called The 177 Mental Toughness of the World Class. Okay, and it was the first one. Today I'm going to read number 21, and I want to share this with y'all because this is pretty important. Here we go. So when we talk about the world class, let me know if y'all can see this okay. Can you see the screen okay? Okay. This is one of the traits that you will see about the world class is that champions evolve from competing to creating. Can you see that the thing okay? Do I need to zoom in and everything? Okay. So average performers live their lives in first gear, right? Resisting change and avoiding risks. The masses have the same talent and opportunity as the world class, yet choose to play it safe to avoid the pain of failure and the agony of temporary defeat. At the Mental Toughness University, we have scaled and called the 5 levels of mental toughness, which is a tool to help people determine at what level they are performing. The first level is called play not to lose, which is doing just enough to avoid getting fired. Okay. Where am I at here? The next level is playing to cruise, which is mentally cruising through their job without really engaging in any serious thoughts. The next level is playing to improve, which is when performers begin to actively engage their thoughts and their feelings in task in hand, attempting to get better, right? The level above this is playing to compete, which is when performers begin to believe that they're actually capable of beating out their competition and being the best. But this level is primarily ego driven, where winning out their competition, where winning is the main objective. Performers operating at this level often become very successful and powerful, but are sometimes left with hollow feelings of, is this all there is? The highest level is playing to win, which occurs when the performer moves from competition to creation, where the primary goal is to be the best that they can be, knowing that creativity and fear cannot coexist. These people are competing only with themselves with the objective of being better today than they were yesterday. The playing to win philosophy is rooted in a spirit-based consciousness operating from thoughts of love and abundance. Fear and scarcity have no place at this level of thinking. These performers are fearlessly seeking what Dr. Abraham Maslow referred to as self-actualization, or becoming all the one has the potential to become. The most powerful belief performers operating at this level position is that they cannot fail. They can only learn and grow. With their potential in front of them, their fear behind them, champions are able to move beyond boundaries of competition and create what the masses believe that's impossible. So again, what it shows is, oh, here you go. And here's the I guess you could say the pyramid level of it all is that on the bottom, which is the majority of people, is that I'm playing not to lose. How many of us are sometimes, or you've heard people being pushed by their fears, right? They're being led by their fears. They don't want to. How many times have you heard this? Man, I don't want to go back to what I used to be. Man, I don't want to go back. I didn't. I had your background was there. You don't want to go in that route. I don't want to go back, right? I don't. The fear of not to lose, right? Then you have the one who is playing to cruise, right? And most times these are the ones that go to job, they have no purpose, right? They just go because they got to pay the bills. Um, Obviously playing to improve. This is there. Have you ever noticed why self-improvement is such a big business, right? Have you ever been caught up into meetings or events where everybody just spits out lines like all these wonderful quotes, right? Habits are this and blah blah blah, whatever. Because the reality is that they realize they can become better, but have really no intention of having the discipline, the consistency to actually become and be that. Then the fourth one is they're playing to compete. And I'm sharing this with you because the crazy thing, out of 19 years, I can literally share with you the difference of how each level has been. And sometimes we don't even know we're in those levels because the fact of it is that's the environment that you're in. I remember years ago, and there's a couple of some of our leaders that are on right now, remember me when I was on the fourth level. They remember that we'd have these meetings together, and then like for example, I see some of y'all's backgrounds, like y'all have y'all's team names or whatever. Oh man, we're all like that, and then we'd have our breakout meetings, and then we'd be like, "Hey guys, we're gonna crush them, and we're gonna beat them, and we're gonna be," we couldn't wait for events to show who was number one, and we would. It was crazy. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it, right? Because a lot of times when it comes to sports or whatever, you have a winner, you got a loser, and then you have the champions, right? But when it comes to our business, when it comes to what it is you signed the IAA for, or the ability for you to become this person, let me share with you. Right now, you have the ability to play to win. And I bring this up because we're literally we're right about, no, actually, we're right about the 30-day mark to one of the biggest events we have all year long. And matter of fact, the year that we're going to have is going to be our 8th year anniversary, which is convention. And I want you to remember this tonight. All how many do we have here this evening? All 41 of us, right, that are on this call tonight. I want you to remember this meeting where you have the understanding, the ability that you can become the person where you are here playing to win, where where it says, I cannot fail, I can only learn and grow. The only person I am competing with is myself. Listen to this. I no longer feel fear because it is impossible for me to lose. I feel so grateful just to have an opportunity to be the best I can be. I see my performance as primary catalyst of my self-actualization, and I don't have to be who I've always been. I learn, I grow, and that's how I win. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, right this very second, whatever things I've been told, whatever it feels that you have become or you've been wanting to become, whatever the case may be, let me share with you. All the leaders that you see that are in gold jackets or whatever position and levels or all that can be, let me tell you, we're just here to support. We're just here to give you an open runway. We're here that we've been here years before and might have some experience and give you some thoughts. But the reality of it is that you have the power in your hand to become the person you are destined to be. And we have built a platform for you and anybody to succeed as long as you put in the work. Does that make sense? Are y'all with me on that? So tonight I want to give you and this is a formality because it's not like I'm really giving it to you. You're going to either take it or not. But I'm going to give you, right, the ability and the responsibility that you are 100% responsible in the success that you will have moving this day forward. So July the 6th at 7:55 Central Standard Time, you all have been given the power, right? Using the OIC platform, right? And I'm talking just about our business, is that you have the ability to hit the highest level as long as you take responsibility for it. And that we are here to support you and guide you in every step of the way. That whatever successes that you have, you are 100% responsible. Whatever failures you come across, you are 100% responsible. And that you have the choice to say yay or nay about it. Because right now, I'm going to tell you is OIC is at a level that has taken us a few years to get there. We've learned from our trials and tribulations, and we've learned from the people that we have gained to the people that we have lost to the people we don't even have yet. And one of the biggest things that we see that's about to happen right about 30 days from now, because I know our event is August 7th, 8th, and 9th type of deal. So I know some of us in a month from now will be coming into Dallas area and getting ready for an amazing event. And I share this with you is that if you are here to play to win, step number one is this. Well, I know there's a few of us that are not on board yet. So Kimberly and Eric, step number one, get on board with us. Okay, that's step number one. Okay, but I will tell you this is for you to be in the position where you are here that you are playing to win is this. You have to be at convention. Period. Like there's no buts. Like it's like period. I understand there might be certain situations. Usually number one, it's money. Some of you are not here in the Dallas area. You're gonna have to buy plane ticket or you're gonna have to buy, all these wonderful things. Guys, let me tell you something. It is at the most, if you're wanting to play to win, I look forward to seeing everybody on this call here August at our convention. Because that's going to be the number one step for you to all come together and have the synergy and the things that's going to be unveiled and the things that we're going to be doing and coming together as one so you can see the next steps moving forward of what our infinite company is going to do. Okay? Number two is I'm going to stop screen sharing and I'm going to close out with this. Got a few minutes. And I don't know why my thing is not working as well again, but I'm going to go ahead and show this so it's kind of weird. Can you see this screen here? Thumbs up. We good? Okay.
Yes.
So should you like to remember, I'm going to give you a few steps that if you haven't gone through this is very important. So please, I hope you're taking notes, okay? Number one, let's work on the preparation part. So before the execution comes, let's look at preparation. Number one, if you're not licensed, you got to get licensed, okay? Got to be here to make some extra money. Get appointed with all the OIC product providers, right? Whoever it is that you're going to be doing business, get with your leaders so they can be able to guide you in those ways. Have your material organized. See, the biggest part is, and this is one of the things that I'm very big about sports, and I've seen shows and movies and all this kind of stuff. Is there's no point of view that there's no point for you to go out there thinking you're going to be a champion in a sport and you don't even have the uniform on or the materials for you to get there. I'm a big football person, right? And not soccer, but football, NFL football, right? And what good is it for me to be one of a star player? And then when I get out in the field, I got my helmet, right? Like again, it doesn't make sense, right? And so you have to have your material organized, ready for you to do business. If I see, this is the thing. So many of us come to trainings and we're learning and we're learning and we're learning. What happens when you open your mouth and finally somebody says, "Hey, yes, are you prepared for it?" Or is your answer, "Oh, good. Well, let me call my trainer." Right? Do you have the material to actually move forward with your business? Or now, if you're brand new, I get it, but I'm talking about just everybody else that's been around. Do you have your materials organized? This is a very, very important tool that I feel that most times people don't take as serious. Would you all agree that we're running a business? Like in this call, who does not feel we're running a business? Anybody? I want to be very open about this. Does anybody on this call feel they are not running a business? Okay, so everybody is running a business. Okay, when you go to a storefront, what do you see on the door besides the name?
We're open.
We're open, right? And there's what? It's called hours of operation.
Hours of
They're
operation. Yeah.
open from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. They're open and sometimes it's different from Monday through Friday, from Friday to Saturday, closed on Sunday, right? So you know what time those businesses are open. Can I ask you a question right now? Don't answer me because I just want to be open with it. Do you all have hours of operation? Seriously, or are you running a flexible time commitment type of a business? Now, I understand that's the opportunity OIC has, but doesn't necessarily mean is that you do it when you feel good. Like, do you know, okay, I am gonna do this I got a job and I get off of work at 5 o'clock. I'm gonna have supper and dinner, whatever, but by 6:30 on, my hours of business is open. So Monday through Friday, I have hours of operation from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Do you even have that? Saturday, I know I got some family things I got to take care of, but from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturday, my hours of operation are open. Sunday, I know it's a time of faith in God and church. Trust me, you got to tell me about that. But at the same time, is I'm also open from this time to this time. Those are my hours of operation. Or are you just like when somebody calls and says yes, and I got an appointment, that's when I do business? Ask yourself those questions. Now, the last one, I would say, if your business hasn't, excuse me, if your business hasn't been going the way that you want to, I would highly recommend to get with your business director or your leader, right? And set up a time to get restarted. If you feel you've been in a little bit of a funk, a little bit lost, you're a little bit lost in translation, you've been going through the what do you call it? You've been going through the same routine, but it's just like, okay, I'm gonna do the same thing, and you just feel like you just show up because you're just supposed to, whatever. I would highly recommend to get with your leader and do what we call it and get restarted again. It's okay. And I mean that with the most sincerity. It's okay to say, you know what, dude, I'm in a funk, man. I'm just confused. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Let's get restarted on this thing again, right? The next thing, manage your time. How many of don't raise your hands because this is a loaded question. How many of us sometimes feel overwhelmed? Like, my God, I got this, I got that, I got that. Oh my man, like I don't feel like you feel there's not enough hours in the day, right? Some of us feel that. Okay. This is the scenario is a lot of and it's most times, I'm not gonna say all the time, but 99.98% of the time is because we're unorganized. So this is the thing. Those of you that feel overwhelmed, or you feel there's not enough time, or you feel like you just can't catch that break, or whatever that feeling is, let me ask you a question. How serious are you about your calendar? How serious are you about your time management? Like if I were to ask you, and I didn't see anybody raise hands or anything, but if you're feeling this way, if I were to ask you, open your calendar, would your calendar look like what time you get up, what time you got to go to work, what time do you eat, what time do you go come back from home, what times are your contacting sessions, what kind of time are your training sessions, what time, if you got spouse or kids or whatever, is your time with your children, what time do you have that you have down that's what time with your church? If you're gonna go work out at 7 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, do you have that on there too? What time do you have meditation? What time do you have, like, guys, anything that you do when your eyes are open, do you have that on your schedule? Or is it like, well, I have nothing else to do. I'm going to go ahead and walk around the block. Oh, I have nothing else to do. I'm going to go do this, and this. My question to you, are you intentional with everything? Now, I will say this. If you are booked pretty well, solid or whatever, then this is the thing I would recommend. Number one, maybe wake up earlier. Because I want you to notice, I want to share this with you. Some of the, like, whoever you feel are some of the most successful people in the world, do you know that they also only have 24 hours in a day? You know that, right? Like I'm sorry, I'm looking at my screen and I saw Tammy. Sorry, Miss Tammy, I'm gonna pick on you because I see you in front of me, okay? Tammy, you and Elon Musk and you and Jeff Bezos and you and Mark Zuckerberg and you and all these billionaires that are out there, both of y'all have the same 24 hours in a time, right? They don't have 32 hours and you got 24. You know that, right? We all have 24 hours in a day. It's what we do with it that makes the difference, right? The second thing that I always talk about, create a to-do list. Third one, set deadlines. I do got to give this credit to Sunni Samad. I love his thought process whenever he talks about the whole 338 in 30 days. He's very, very big about that deadline. When he talks about a 90-day run for a BD or whatever those positions is, it's 90 days, not 91 and a half, right? He talks about there's a 90-day window. And because again is when you set the deadlines, those are the times that you need to go after. Most times we don't set deadlines. Guess what happens? Oh, I'll do it next week. I'll do it tomorrow. Oh man, I didn't do it in June. I'll do it in July. Oh, I didn't do it in July. I'll do it in August. You know why? Because we feel we have all the time in the world. And the last and definitely not least, you got to stick to your schedule. And then the next one is this one. I'm going to leave off with this. Focus on one thing. Everybody wants results, but nobody wants to stay focused. Everybody wants results, but nobody wants to stay focused. The gap between your current life and the life that wants you is called focus. So you can focus 100% on one thing, or you can do 5 things and focus 20% on each of it. What do you feel is going to get done more? It's pretty simple. It's called math. I mean, it's you're going to get 20% done of the 5 things versus getting one thing done at a time. Are y'all with me on that? And so the reality of it is that, oh no, I got one more, sorry. Here it is. Make gradual improvements. You can't go to level 10 without the level 1 habit. You can't go to level 10 with a level 1 habit. Are y'all with me on that? Let me repeat this. You can't go to let me rephrase it. You cannot, my English, make sure my English is good. You cannot go to level 10 with a level 1 habit. So things to be able to help gradually get you better, start reading the book. But read the first page. You haven't talked to anybody, you don't know who to talk to, make a first phone call. Start out by having one appointment today. And last and not least, start today. Stop having, I'm Hispanic, stop having the mañana syndrome. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll get it done mañana. Hey, tomorrow, stop. You got to stop having it. Minor improvements over time leads to big changes. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, I want to share with you, I know we're going to go into our breakout rooms. And I look at this call, and you know what? We have our ups, we got our downs, we got our people that show up, we got people that get things from it, we got people that don't. And I know there's going to be some things we're going to be shifting a little bit more onto some of the how-tos, because at the end of the day is this. How do we get better, right? How do we get better tomorrow than we were today? How do we get better, week by week? How do we improve ourselves? I want to give you a secret, and I want you to take it with a grain of salt, but at the same time, I don't want you to misinterpret what I'm about to say. So I'm going to be very clear about this, and I want you to listen to me. Don't just hear me, listen to me. These meetings that we have together, which are the entrepreneur meetings, is a 1 hour ish, right? Because we go over sometimes. It's a 1 hour ish time frame that we get together once a week. I want you to write this down. It's been said that it takes over 10,000 hours for you to become an expert in your craft. Okay? And so the reality of it is, if we're meeting 1 hour a week, that is 52 hours a year. That means it's going to take you 25 lifetimes for you to become an expert in your craft. You with me on that? These sessions are the locker room talks, the regrouping, success stories, ideas to maybe pivot business a little bit different, give you a confirmation of successes that y'all are already doing. You get to hear from other people that maybe the things you've been doing is the same thing you're doing. You just need to work a little bit more. The reality of it is that the Monday night entrepreneur meetings and any other training you get involved with are just guidance for you to continuously get better and better, give you some diamond nuggets to go out there and be an expert on your craft, shorten the time frame a little bit. Are y'all with me on that? Do you understand? That's what these meetings are for. But to become a master of your craft is this. Write this word down. It's called execute. You have to take what we have talked about and take it out into the field. I'm going to share with you something, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have to get punched in the mouth. You're going to have to get the rejections. You're going to have to get the successes. You're going to have to go out there and get into a business of repetition, maybe a little bit of routine. That's why we talk about how important our systems are. But the reality of this is this. If you believe in the development business, the distribution business, the platform of our infinite company, let me tell you, those 10,000 hours can be shortened with the organization that you develop. Because now those 24 hours, Miss Tammy, that I was telling you about, can you imagine? Think about this. If now you have 10 people working with you, now how many hours a day do you have? You don't have 24 hours anymore. You got what? 240 hours now. Are you with me on that? If you have 100 people working with you, you don't have 240 hours. You got 2,400 hours working with you. And that's when you start seeing the exponential growth is having people working with you, working on the same mission, on the same vision, with some of the same purposes. And the reality is how many of us are gonna go from playing to lose, playing to cruise, playing to improve, playing to compete, and start going and playing to win and becoming the best version of yourself. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's going to have some breakout meetings. You go to the bottom, you're going to see where your group is at. I look forward. I'm going to do this, and I just because I believe in it. We already took a snapshot of every 42 people that were on this call tonight, and I'm going to talk to all the business directors that are on this call because I want to make sure that all 42 people that were on this call this evening that they are registered for convention. If you're not registered for convention, at least a time frame to know when you're gonna register. Because if you're wanting to get to the level that you're here to play and to win, you got to be at the championship field in the championship game, which is our convention, August the 8th. Okay, so again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking forward to the successes of everybody. Go to your breakout rooms and let's make some big things happen, guys. You have a great rest of the evening. Take care.
Thanks, Ant.